Hey guys, it's me, Mrs. Ball, giving this a whirl, so be patient. I've never done this before, but I wanted to talk to you about your assignment while I'm out today. So you'll see that the paper that I have in front of me is on the back side of that story arc paper we did last week, and I just want to go through a few things, so if you could follow along, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so this is exactly what an introductory paragraph should look like if you ever need to write one, and you will in this class quite often. Okay, so let's go through step by step what an introductory paragraph needs to have. The first thing that you're going to want is a hook statement. So that's over here. It's your very first thing. It is supposed to grab your reader's attention, and we went over that yesterday in class. We talked about using things like interesting quotations or statistics. There was a list of 5 that we went over in the Prezi that you took notes about. Okay, remember that this is how you grab your reader's attention with an interesting idea. So this guy says, it is the smallest actions which often create the largest change. I think he was going for some kind of shocking statement, or maybe flipping a cliche on its head, I'm not sure. One of those two methods. Okay, the next part is a little bit more difficult, but probably the most important. Okay, that's number 2, the bridge. And this is something that you've probably never talked about before. The bridge is actually something that combines the hook statement with your number 3, the summary. Okay, so a bridge is saying, here's why I just said this thing up here, and I'm going to tell you how it relates to the story or whatever it is that I'm talking about. A bridge is a short sentence or even just a quick phrase, as this example right here, because it flows into the summary, that it links the hook idea to the specific literary work that you'll discuss in the essay. Without the bridge, it will feel very choppy. I want you to underline that because that's really important. If you can get these bridge statements, not only will I be a happy camper, but your essay will improve tremendously, and we're going to work on this quite a bit. Okay, so I wanted to show you just a few more examples of bridges. So here's my lovely computer, and this is exactly what we did yesterday. This right here, failure is the tuition you pay for success, the famed author Walter Brunel once wrote. That's your hook statement, the famous quote kind. Here's your bridge statement. Indeed, the reader finds the truthfulness of this statement illustrated in XYZ short story ABC. You'll notice that they took the hook and kind of went from the hook and told us how it flows into this pretend short story ABC. Let's take a look at one more example of a bridge. Politicians, athletes, and scholars would be wise to embrace the sweet smell of failure. We talked about that one earlier. That one is turning a cliche on its head. And now you're going to explain in just a few short words why you said that. This surprising truth is argued by XYZ, this pretend person, as his short story ABC presents, and then you're going to go on and talk about a few more things. Okay, another one. Author XYZ certainly thinks so, as he presents the character Sally in his well-known short story ABC. Okay, we already talked about not beginning your essays with a question, so let's go ahead and take another look at this worksheet. If you've done your hook well, if you've then flowed into a bridge, and then you're going to take a look at your summary, or you're going to write a sentence or two summarizing the elements of the story that will be important for your readers to know as they work through your essay. So assume that your reader does not know the original story that you're discussing. So for tonight's homework, I know that you're going to talk about something to do with Langston Hughes. You know and I know that we've both read Thank You, Ma'am, but I want you to pretend that I haven't. Give me a summary or just a few quick sentences about what Thank You, Ma'am is about after you've done your bridge, okay? You'll need to fill in the necessary story elements to help your reader understand the points that you're going to make in your essay. So hook them, bridge them, give them a summary, and then the very last thing that you're going to do, number 4, is a thesis statement. This single sentence clearly declares the topic of your essay. In this case, the thesis explains Hughes' theme. Be sure that the thesis is bold, compelling, and offers a position that could inspire 2 reasonable people to have an interesting debate. The example of the thesis statement here is Hughes uses the relationship between this unlikely pair to celebrate the massive power of minute acts of kindness. While I think we mostly agree with this, it is set up so that it does these 3 things. It's bold, it makes us think, and it's arguable. Okay, could we say that this relationship does not celebrate the massive power? Absolutely. Some people might argue that Mrs. Jones never touched his life and doesn't do anything after Roger leaves the house. Okay, so a thesis statement needs to give your position or your opinion and be something very bold and very compelling. It needs to stand out. Every introduction paragraph should start with a hook, go to a bridge, give a summary of the story or the topic that you'll be talking about, and then go into a thesis statement. Remember, it's your opinion statement or what the essay is going to be about. Tonight's assignment, using the 4 elements shown here, hook, bridge, summary, and thesis, write an introductory paragraph of your own. Choose a different theme from Hughes's story and follow the pattern. Theme here, remember, a theme is like a lesson or a moral that you can get from the story. And like I told you, a lot of information about Langston Hughes and all of his works will be available online because he was so incredibly popular. So if you're struggling to find a theme for Langston Hughes's Thank You, Ma'am, use your friend and mine, Google, and go check it out and see if there's one that speaks to you. Okay, so choose a different theme from Hugh's story and follow this exact pattern that we just talked about. You don't have to write the entire essay. You just need to write one introductory paragraph. I always use the example that if my car was making a noise, I would go into the mechanic and I would describe that noise to the best of my ability. I can't just say, I need help. Okay, because they wouldn't even know where to begin looking in the engine. What you're doing with this is bringing me your car. You are showing me exactly where it's making a noise by showing me your writing skill and letting me critique that. So do your very best in trying to do these 4 things, and then hopefully we will do a really good job of giving you some feedback so that you can improve, because it should come as no surprise that eventually you will have to write an entire essay, but not on this topic. Okay, so this is your assignment for today. Please enjoy. I know you'll do great, and I will see you Friday.